Now, you said you were doing a lot of activity. What was the movement you were using that your elbows seemed to be having challenges?
A repetitive behavior.
Yeah, like what was the movement?
A turkey baster.
So you were doing what? Show me the motion.
I was making like gummies, so I had to go like this a lot. Move my arm across
Okay.
like a mold.
Okay.
Like this for like hours.
Okay, so let's just check something
It could
here.
also be like texting.
Okay, and texting. Well, let's just see. There's other massage techniques and some other things. I'm going to push like this repetitively. Hold as I push. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See it going now? 8. Yeah. So that is, we do what's called sustained muscle use. This is great for Olympic athletes too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the neurolymphatic. Is this tender in here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to work on the back one here for it too. These reflexes are for the muscle triceps. So that's another thing. Then we're going to check her ligaments too. Now, breathing deeply.
The back one's worse than the front one.
The back one's worse than the front, okay? So what you do is, in repetitive strain, you work it for up to 2 or even 3 minutes. And again, I've done this with endurance athletes like the Ironman, because that race is a minimum of like 8.5, 9 hours for the world record holders. And for some, they'll go as long as 17 hours. The age groupers, they keep the course open till midnight, and it starts at 7 a.m. when they go into their swim. And so when you're doing endurance events, you often need this technique. So we cover that in the course. We also cover myofascial release. In a moment, I'll show you a little more about what's in the course and how to enroll, because we only got a few more spaces left. We limit it to a very small number so you get a lot of personal attention. Well, let's see what happens now when we go here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, see how strong it is now? You're not budging at all. Okay, now let's see what we've got in the ligaments. Now, ligaments conditions, there's 2 types of ligament work that you learn in the structural. One is an overall adrenal factor creating ligament laxicity everywhere, being lax. They don't hold. That's an adrenal condition, which I don't know that you have. I don't think you do, but there's another one called local ligament injury. So what I'm doing is I'm going to hyperextend here and see if a strong muscle goes weak when I do that. Hold as I push, and wow, it does. Now, so the ligaments got overstretched this way. Does that feel awkward and painful when I do that?
Yeah, it feels awkward.
Yeah, awkward? Okay, so what I do is I pull the ligaments in the opposite direction and push them together. But before I do that, I'm going to check. Goodhart was the one that figured this out. Manganese is often a factor in ligaments. Now, this is more of our nutritional course, but we throw a little in with the structural, so you know, you always want to think holistically. And sometimes Goodhart found out if you supplement with manganese, not magnesium, but manganese, people often get better with ligament issues. So I'll grab a little supplement here and see what happens. Again, I'm going to touch this area with the ligament and see how it goes weak. Now I'm going to put this on her field because everything has frequency vibration. So I'm going to put this in her field and see what happens. Hold as I push. All right. So that's going to be supplement to keep the healing going, okay? So we'll check that later after we correct her and see if that's still a factor. Now, let's go with the technique. What you're doing is you're taking and pushing it, instead of stretching it out and extending it, I go into a little bit of a flexion and push it together. Now, while I'm doing that, she can do a temporal tapping. So you're going to take your left hand and you're going to do that tapping right over the ear like we were doing. So she's going like this, okay, as I hold this. And you could do this for up to 2 minutes. So I'm going to check for questions as soon as we get done here, and then we'll show you a little bit about the course, and then we're going to do some other techniques. There is so many valuable skills in this course that you learn, and that alone is what I took a whole year basically with Goodhart. you're primarily learning everything, like like over 46 different muscle tests, how to do sustain work, how to do myofascial work, how to do ligament resets, along with general adrenal involvement. We do the ileocecal valve, the hiatal hernia, pelvic conditions. Myofascial release is great. We also do spinal conditions. It's very in-depth. Clearing scars is a major factor for many people because when someone has a scar, it's like a roadblock for the meridians that can majorly keep them in an impaired state. And generally, now we're getting more and more medical doctors studying with me in the Institute, they don't even consider any of this stuff. It's just, you know, and I love, many of my family members, best friends are medical doctors. And surgeons, oh gosh, thank God. I have so many good results, both for me and my family. When you need surgery, you get it, and it can be very helpful. But so often, let's see how we're doing here. So again, about 2 minutes to 3 is what you hold that technique. But John Thie told me this because I had the great fortune of being his right-hand man back in the 80s. I ran the Touch for Health office. I brought Touch for Health, the first one to bring it to Italy, to bring it to Russia, as well as all over the United States and Canada. And I worked right alongside John. And he says, look, if I get in a car wreck, don't rush me to a Touch for Health class. There's a place for surgeries. And sometimes you need them. You know, you might need a knee replacement or hip replacement if it's gotten to the point. But the key is keep yourself in great standing with these techniques. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to check the ligament again by going like this and see if it's now strong. Okay, now why don't you, let's see, I think we confirm if this point's, see when anything tests weak, check it again and see if it's now strong. Hold, that's strong. Okay, and we got this strong. Let's just go up and check this point on the head and see if that's strong now. The large intestine point on the head is strong. Just move that elbow around and see if you got any more strength in there. Does it feel better?
It feels stronger.
Yeah? Is there any pain in there or is it?
I feel some pain, yeah.
Where's the pain?
Like right in the middle now.
Right in the middle, okay?
I like moved from like here to there.
Okay, well let's see if we can find some other things going on with
But I
that.
feel like it's getting better as I do this, like.
Okay, so you just need to move it a little.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
But I don't know in what very good sense.
okay.
But
Now
it
there's
feels stronger though.
this stronger. Okay, so sometimes there's myofascial release. See, that's another technique you learn. And it feels really tight in here because often when you're using something over and over again, so let me just point in here and see what happens. Okay, so then I'll say myofascial release and it's saying yes. So what I can do, it's called pin and stretch.
Yeah, it's pretty painful.
Yeah, pretty painful, okay? So let me know if I'm going too deep, but what I do is I press into it. So I press into the muscle here. And as I'm pressing, I just go through, you relax. I'm just going through a range of motion. Just let it go. So I get in there, let it go. See, it's muscle imbalances that cause pain. Certain ones are too tight, often because others are too weak. And you strengthen the weak ones, and then if needed, you release the tight ones. So I'm just going through this range of motion here and seeing what we got. Okay. And that's a great technique. You can do this on yourself. See, a lot of what you learn in the course is to apply to yourself to keep you out of pain. How's that feeling? Is it getting better?
Yeah, it feels better.
Getting better? Mm-hmm. So you learn a lot of tools that you can take into your practice, getting phenomenal results. Okay, so let's see how this is doing now. I mean, we could do more, but at this point, let's just see how's that elbow feeling as you move it around now.
Oh, yeah, it feels good now.
Feels good. Okay. So feeling better, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Great.